All right, there was a time not too long ago when the hottest trade out there, the most exciting thing out there was legalized marijuana, right? The investments, also potential just for societal impacts. Investors flocked to these stocks, to the ETFs, but there was one major barrier in the United States, and, well, that barrier still remains. My next guest, though, has been at the forefront from the very beginning today. He helped open the stock exchange, MSOS. Let's bring in now CB1 Capital founding partner and CIO, Todd Harrison. Todd, great seeing you, my man.
Charles, good to see you, man.
Oh, boy. I mean, I didn't realize we were just talking. 20 years has gone by, and I'm taking my eye off the cannabis trade. You know, it was hot, it was great, it was exciting. Then but just so folks know that there's money being made.
Yep.
$2.5 billion in July, almost $17 billion year to date. This is still a major industry, even with the restrictions.
Yeah, and unfortunately, the Democrats treated this like a photo op, and the Trump administration has treated cannabis like an industry. And he's taking steps to normalize the industry, to allow for banking. We spoke 19 months ago when Trump first came in, and I said promises made, promises kept. He made promises on the campaign trail. We've seen the rescheduling of medical marijuana. A week from now, the final briefs are due for the administrative law judge, the ALJ, for adult use rescheduling. And then we expect banking as well as guidance from the Treasury and the IRS. So all of this is very positive for the sector.
Well, that's the one big hurdle, right? Everyone said, if you can do banking, if you can do cross-state banking on this, it's off to the races.
Well, there's a few mismatches right now because the banking system and the ability to custody these stocks, that's why the MSOS at the New York Stock Exchange today was such a big deal. There's a handful of other names that are listed, but you need catalyst and growth and regulatory parity and tax clarity for this trade to really work, and we think that we're going to get that into the midterms. What
about society, particularly young folks? They have rejected alcohol completely. Now, I walk out in the breezeway every day on my way home, and, you know, they're knocking out the weed is there. Like, I'm just wondering, you know, it's distinctive. Like, if they can get if it's green lit, even more on a federal level, I start to think about the original optimism, the excitement. That comes back, I think.
Well, I mean, a few things. One, you can't walk around New York with an open container of alcohol. So there are norms that I think are going to come into place with regard to consumption. But to your point, the vice side of this is one facet. There's a medical side and a wellness side and a therapeutic side.
That's what's picking up.
Yes.
That's what's really, really picking up. And you know, you mentioned President Trump and keeping his promises, but Make America Healthy Again.
Yep.
You know, it's playing a major role, I think, with this.
Well, we've seen what he's done with CBD, and we've seen what has proliferated over the last decade with intoxicating hemp. And I say that as a bit of air quotes because hemp is for industrial use cases, cannabis is for intoxication. But there was a bifurcation of that demand for THC over the last decade. So if you kind of look at THC as an alternative to alcohol, it's been up and to the right. The thesis is right, but the regulations have been what has gotten in the way of this trade. And we think those are being unwound. And the Trump administration, listen, give credit where credit's due. They've been very thoughtful. They've been consistent. It's been night and day versus the prior administration.
Let's talk about areas that potentially make some money. Village Farms. Is this a European play here?
Well, Village is, you know, we like to say Village, and Mike DiGilio, the CEO, is a retired Navy captain of 30 years. So he likes to say Canada was his first international market, but they have a European footprint that's second to none, and it's just a terrific company and a deep bench. So it's a big position of ours, and it's a company we're involved with.
The chart looks phenomenal. It's taken off. It's just broke a key moving average there. When we were talking in a break, Vireo.
Yep.
You're saying this is on the road to becoming the biggest cannabis company in the world.
Yeah, they're quietly consolidating, and this is a company with $1 billion top line revenue, trading at about 3 times EBITDA and less than a half, if not a third, of earnings. So it's super cheap versus its peers. It could triple just to get on par with some of its peers in the cannabis industry, and that's before the adoption from the outside world, the non-endemics.
You've been very patient, and no, you have. And listen, by the way, the psychedelics, I know you watch psychedelics. Some of these psychedelic stocks are up, you know, like 500%, 600%, 700%.
Yeah.
You got to be watching those with a little bit of envy, right? I mean, you've been patient. Do you have a timeline right now, a potential timeline?
Well, listen, there's a few things that we think are going to happen into the midterms. Remember, this is something that President Trump campaigned on.
Right.
And the
Do you have advocates in Congress on this?
Yeah, well, especially when cannabis is rescheduled from a Schedule 1 to a Schedule 3, which is now in process. We expect a final rule starting next week. After that, it's live. We can hear it any day. We do expect it into the midterms. But importantly, there's a Treasury guidance, an IRS guidance on the tax code, 288 tax code, that we look at. You know, we've been around a while, like FASB 157 was to the great financial crisis. Unless you know what you're looking for, you don't know what you're looking for. But this potentially will vacate back taxes for medical marijuana, which would be billions of dollars off their balance sheet and make the sector investable again.
Wow. Great stuff, Todd.
Thank you.
Great seeing you, my man.
Thank you.
All right. All right, folks, coming up, Jared Levy's here. We're going to talk about Coherent and some of these other light stocks. They report this week. They've been sizzling, but they're also weak. Brian Mulberry also is making some changes in his portfolio. We'll track them all. We'll be right back.